the fact that everyone has won a trophy, everyone has won a major competition, and to have that record coming into the final day, it's got to fill him with confidence.
Exactly, and that's what maybe people at home don't realize. These players are playing in a competition where, again, you mentioned 8 players have won a championship before. So to beat someone that resoundingly, like Gorilla did against Megabit, or like NRASECK did in many of his games, where he hasn't conceded a goal, is no easy feat. And again, TekkZ could be up against it, but I really can't call this game.
Well, here we go then. We're going to have to call the game. We'll call the action and we'll find out the result when that final whistle blows. It is, of course, our upper bracket final. It's FNATIC TEKKZ taking on DhTekkz. And if you don't get excited for this kind of a matchup, then you're probably watching the wrong esport, because this is 2 of the best who've done it in FIFA 20.
Absolutely, and I think the key here is just to see who's going to start the game best, who's going to dictate the tempo, who's going to put their foot on the pedal and say, okay, this is my game. I want to take it to the opponent. I want to be the one that sets the tempo of the game, because I think that's important at this level. You don't want to be the person that starts off slowly and gives yourself the opponent a chance just to ease himself into the game. You want to make it as uncomfortable as possible.
We're going to have to see who does manage to do exactly what you've just said there. Who can put the pressure on first and who can get that all-important first goal as well, which we were talking about how important it was before the game kicked off in FIFA 20. The first goal is important, but when you've got such closely matched players, it becomes even more vital.
Absolutely. And again, for NRASECK's point of view, if he scores first, I've mentioned it several times now, he hasn't conceded. So he must be confident thinking, if NRASECK scores first, who's to say that he's going to concede? So he probably will get confidence if he scores first more than TekkZ. Where on the other hand, if TekkZ does score first, he probably is going to be sort of resigned to the fact that NRASECK has been scoring a lot of goals as well. And TekkZ has won both of his games, I believe, in extra time. So it hasn't been as resounding as normal TekkZ performances were.
Well, TekkZ is going to win himself a throw in here on this near side, and a chance for him to build another attack. It was pretty promising, the first one that he had. He managed to get the ball inside the box to R9, just couldn't turn away to get that shot away. So promising signs. And here's R9 again, just a little stop up and a step over to buy himself just half a yard here, and working his way back towards the edge of that box to utilize those 2 central midfielders to build it up. But NRASECK with good pressure there from Ruud Gullit, putting the pain onto TekkZ in the defensive stand.
Absolutely, and playing against someone like TekkZ, I played him numerous times, when he gets to the edge of the box, especially if it's to someone like R9 Ronaldo, who can turn on either foot, who has all the catalogue of skill moves available in his arsenal, it's honestly petrifying, because he could turn left, he could do a drag back into an elastico, he could do a sombrero flick. He's not afraid to do any skill move that's in the book, and again, it's something that NRASECK has to be wary of.
Well, here comes NRASECK then on the far side. First time we've really seen him get into TekkZ's third as we approach the 20th minute here in our first half of the first leg. But again, high pressure from both players being employed here and being able to pick up the ball in good advanced positions to start another attack, as Ander Herrera is going to be the choice of midfielder in that central position for TekkZ here. We've seen a lot of chopping and changing in players, as a few new UCL items have been added to the game in the last few days. And I asked you who your standout was, and you're a big Leon Goretzka fan, but not here for TekkZ. Yeah,
I'm not seeing Goretzka. One thing, though, I'll credit TekkZ with is that he's using Neymar. Neymar only has the base Champions League version, so for me, he's honestly not going to be as effective as his other cards, but it's important to use players that you are familiar with. Despite him perhaps using team of the season Neymar in previous tournaments, even the normal base variation of Neymar is good enough to have in a competition like this.
Well, here is Neymar, and there's R9, there's a scoop turn, and there's the first goal for FNATIC TEKKZ. It was liquid FIFA 20 from the Englishman. Beautiful ball in, and you were talking about Neymar heavily involved in that goal with the first time pass, and R9 makes no mistake.
Beautiful goal. And I mentioned as well, when he gets the ball to R9 Ronaldo's feet, he could do anything, especially when he's back to go. He's in the area, he could have done anything, and he chose the right skill move there, the scoop into the shot, and it puts him 1-0 up, and you could say deservedly so far in the run of the game so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. He's certainly been the more adventurous player, and he's definitely had more possession of the ball as well. And that's going to be huge here, because that's the first goal, like you mentioned, that NRASECK has conceded in this tournament so far. So he's going to have maybe a little bit of a think and be put onto the back foot for the first time really in this tournament so far. And that's something for him to think about now.
Absolutely, and we saw before the game that NRASECK has a 3-1 record against TekkZ this year. And when you're playing an opponent, from my personal experience, that you've beaten them numerous times. You sort of go into the game confident, but then if the tides start turning against you, you concede an early goal or you start messing up your attacks. Honestly, the confidence does start to peter out as the game goes on, and I'm wondering if NRASECK is the same thing, but he does have experience at this high level, so he's probably used to playing in these, I guess, cutthroat games where everything's on the line.
Well, here's R9 again. He's found himself in between the two centre-backs. The heel-to-heel almost got him past Vieira, but the Frenchman got a touch on it, and here is Johan Cruyff, a little turn inside from him. A beautiful layoff to Neymar, but doesn't choose to strike it in that position. And that was another very well-worked opportunity, though, from TekkZ.
Yeah, and you see the grimace on his face in the face cam. I think he didn't realize he'd have that much space with Neymar. He could have pulled a shot off to the near post. I would back Neymar to finish that, especially at the near post on FIFA 20. But again, it's a chance that goes begging, but it's something that should give him confidence. He's getting a lot of opportunities, whether he's taking the shot or not. Just having that much space in NRASECK's area is a challenge in itself. We saw in the previous games, NRASECK was barely giving away any chances.
Well, here's NRASECK then, and he's going to answer back almost. Immediately after that chance was missed at the other end, it is Jan Fiete Arp, the Bayern Munich youngster, who works his way into a position to strike it. And that was classic Nicholas NRASECK there, just working the ball into that central position and just providing that devastating finish that has become his trademark.
That's a sensational goal. And again, a fellow German to give him the goal to equalize in this game. It came from one end. TekkZ potentially could have had a goal scoring opportunity with Neymar, and on the other end, it's Arp to equalize. And I'm sure NRASECK will take confidence in this. It's approaching half-time now, and TekkZ does have kickoff, so you'd expect him just to keep the ball, just to die down the clock a little bit, just to make sure he does get the final chance in this half.
Well, 1-1 then between these two titans of the sea. And is there going to be another goal here just before halftime? TekkZ, like you mentioned, just taking his time here to watch those seconds tick away before he decides to go forward. There's a little ball inside here. Jordi Alba's going to pick that ball up once again, and the return pass as he switches the play all the way over here to Cancelo. Into stoppage time now. Cancelo with a little drag back, just biding his time once more. There was an offside trap played there and played perfectly by Nicholas NRASECK, and that will be possession to him. And maybe just enough time here, a few seconds left for him to go forward.
Yeah, just want to speak on that offside trap there. That was extremely risky, but it paid off, and it could go both ways. If he ends up conceding from it, then he'd look foolish. But if he ended up, well, which he done anyway, blocking off the attack with Neymar, it's a superb piece of play. And going into the break 1-1, I would say is pretty much fair. You could say perhaps TekkZ sort of edged it because he did have more opportunities, but 1-1 is still all to play for.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think TekkZ maybe edged it as far as chance creation was concerned, but one of the stories that we've had so far through the eChampions League is the fact that Nicholas NRASECK only needs one shot, and then he's going to find the back of the net. He's been so devastating in front of goal that, as I say, one shot, one goal, that's all he needs.
Absolutely, and we're seeing both players here where if NRASECK goes a goal or a couple goals down in a game, he's so good at transitioning into pressing higher up the pitch. And again, you can flip the roles over. If TekkZ was in a position where he's 2 goal down, again, someone who can press high up the pitch, someone that can win the ball back really high up. So I predict this game will be really, really tightly contested with a maximum probably of 2 goals between the scoreline if anyone does win by that margin anyway.
Well, here comes Nicholas NRASECK then. He's found a little pocket of space here with Leon Goretzka, who's going to just travel forward with that ball. Little turn back using that body to get in between the ball. There's the drag back from R9, but the finish doesn't match. A great save there from Marc-André ter Stegen in the TekkZ goal. And NRASECK's come out in this second half with some serious heat. R9 is going to get a little bit fortunate to have the ball fall back to one of his own players. As Eusebio now turns. He's back inside here. Vieira stepping out from centre-back here. Ruud Gullit picks up the pieces once more. Beautiful move this from NRASECK again. Can he get into a position to strike just at the last second? TekkZ steps in.
Just from watching these two players, they're at the top of their game, and you have to appreciate how patient they are on the edge of the box, where some players, it's especially difficult, for example, in qualifiers, sometimes you can become a bit rash. You take chances or take too many risky opportunities, whereas on the edge of the box there, just bide your time, just wait for the perfect opportunity to open up, and when it does, you back them to take it.
Well, NRASECK coming forward once more and looking a lot better in this second half as far as possession is concerned in comparison to the first, where we said previously TekkZ kind of shaded it overall. But that late goal for Nicholas NRASECK meant that we do come into this second half all tied up. There's a little ball out wide now as he tries to work his way back inside to those central positions, try and find those triangle passes that have proved so effective, and finding that ball into R9 might just do that. Gets back on that right foot, tries to strike it. Rudhullet at the second attempt will pick the ball up, but a loose pass there from Cruyff is going to present the German with the ball back.
Yeah, we're seeing TekkZ being penned in for pretty much the majority of this second half so far. NRASECK has done well just to turn the tides a bit, just to make sure that he's in the ascendancy. And there's a chance here because DhTekkz has won the ball back. But as I mentioned, too patient there, you could say, from NRASECK. He perhaps could have maybe created a triangle on the edge of the box, because the main thing which a lot of people may not realize is the key to scoring is just working the ball down the wings in FIFA 20 and playing it inwards to a striker. When you have the likes of R9 Ronaldo and Cruyff and Eusebio supporting your attacking play, then honestly the options are endless.
We're inside the last half hour. This first leg once again has just flown by in the eChampions League Invitational. These players throwing everything at each other for a spot in that grand final. Of course, the loser of this game will get a second bite of the cherry, as we do have that losers bracket run still available for them. And that's a great ball down the line here. Is he going to be able to quite reach that one? Unfortunately, Kylian Mbappe, even with all the pace that he has, is going to have to watch that ball roll out of play for a goal kick.
Yep, and you can see TekkZ now in the face cam. He's speaking to Harry. Perhaps they wonder, or they're analysing the way the game's going, because he hasn't had a lot of success in this second half. 22 minutes have been played, and he's barely come out. I think that's probably the first time I've seen him in NRASECK's final third. So I don't really know what he can change. He's usually someone that does stick to the 4-2-3-1 variation. The only thing he usually does alter is perhaps just maybe boosting up the depth a bit or changing some player instructions. But I think, in all honesty, he might have to change something just to make sure that this game doesn't get away from him.
Well, let's see if he can make something of this chance, a little bit like Nicholas Razek did in that first half. He only had that one chance really of note, but he put it away. And TekkZ would be more than happy to not really see the ball, but have that one chance hit the back of the net, should it fall his way. But again, can't make the most of that attack, and it will be Razek again coming forward.
As you said, as TekkZ said as well, he's happy to win this game by 1 goal. And someone like TekkZ, it's almost impossible just to shut him out for 180 minutes. Across 2 legs is honestly mission impossible, because how effective he is at going forward and choosing the right opportunity. So I'm sure when he does get a chance, he'll take it. It's just about Razek now, whether he goes for it more or does he sit back a bit and just see if he can, I guess, build up a better attack in the second leg.
TekkZ playing this one nice and patient here. Did have the opportunity maybe to play a ball inside a little bit earlier, but recognising the game situation and maybe just wanting a feel of the ball as well. Like we mentioned, hasn't really seen too much possession in this second half in comparison to his German opponent. But now he does have that little opportunity to go forward, building slowly from the back once again. The fullbacks getting involved, as well as those wide cams. Alba going back inside here. Cruyff having to move that ball on quickly, and nice stuff here from TekkZ. Little drag back there from Cruyff. Beautiful stuff into the feet of R9. There's the Elastico. But Rudhullet just getting back to help out his centre-back at the last second.
Vintage TekkZ. I believe he chose the right skill move there. The Elastico was probably a perfect execution at that moment, but fantastic defending from Hullet to sort of bail out Razek there, because I think he was up against it there, because if TekkZ managed to turn and get a shot off with R9 and Ronaldo, I'm pretty certain it would be 2-1 TekkZ at this moment in time.
So Razek defends well. Can he transition into attack quite as effectively now, as we're inside the last 10 minutes here? Hardly going to be any more chances for these players, as it's going to be Militao, I believe, who stepped in there to make a fantastic tackle to dispossess Nicholas Razek. And is this going to be a case of TekkZ maybe running down this clock here? Is it a little bit too early for him to do so? It looks like he's going direct here with Kylian Mbappe, finding himself in just a pocket of space on this right-hand side.
I think TekkZ knows he has to slow it down a little bit. We mentioned that he hasn't seen a lot of the ball, despite me saying he almost gave it away there, but he knows now there's 5 minutes to go. He doesn't have to push players forward. There's still another 90 minutes to go. Committing players forward here would be sort of foolish, just because you don't want to be caught on a counter-attack and have any regrets, because again, you're playing against an opponent that perhaps has got the better of you this year. You don't want to do anything silly just to make him, I guess, give him the advantage going into the second leg.
Well, he's brought on Dembele and Sadio Mane there, and of course we all know that TekkZ is a huge Liverpool fan. And maybe he will be the player to step up and score a late winner here in this first leg. Of course, we've still got the second leg to go as well, so it won't be decided in this 90 minutes. We've still got 90 more to come after this. And here's the first touch for Ousmane Dembele. And unfortunately, second one, he's going to give the ball away.
Yep, and now it's Razek's turn. Just to die down the clock a bit, both of these players are aware of the time, or the time left in this game. They know that the best, well, in my opinion anyway, the best thing to do is not push players forward, just to wait, just pass it around. You don't need to push players forward or commit too many players on the attack. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 minutes of added time in this game, and NRASECK has possession, so it's just up to him to see if he can make it count.
Well, here is DhTekkz with that chance to try and make it count. Little fake shot round the corner, and he gets the ball back into R9. Here's Dembele. DhTekkz looking dangerous here, and we'll get a second opportunity to go forward, but TekkZ defends well here as the final whistle does go.
2017. So I'd say them 3 are the players that I probably hate to play against.
Well, here we go then, second leg underway. We've managed to put Ryan on the spot. I'm sure he's going to thank me for that as soon as we're off camera, but I'm sure that those players would have appreciated the respect that you've shown their way. But we're into a second leg. Like we say, it's going to be Guild's DhTekkz here in the black kit against the classic Liverpool kit here of FNATIC TEKKZ once again.
Yeah, it's going to be important just to see who starts the game better. You'd say in the first leg, TekkZ probably edged out the first half and NRASECK edged the second half, but we'll see if NRASECK can kick on from the second half in the first game. And I feel like whoever scores first is probably going to be, I guess, the most important thing here. If you score first, especially if it's, I guess, later on in the game, obviously, but even at this moment in time, if you score first, you can just keep the ball a bit. Your opponent has to charge to get the ball back because he knows that if the scoreline does stay at the same, when you're 1 goal down, you're out. It's as simple as that, or you're losing the game.
Yeah, they're not quite out yet. They've got that losers bracket, which is always good. Which is, you know, normally that isn't in competitive FIFA, so no surprise to see a lot of players like yourself thinking, if I lose, I'm gone, I'm done. But they do have this second opportunity here, and it's actually going to be a little bit of a midfield battle to start this one off. Nobody really getting a clear opportunity to step forward, as R9 is going to try and chase back here desperately to get that ball, and a little bit of a heavy touch there from Angelino, almost presented the opportunity, but slow build-up play like you would expect in this game from DhTekkz, just looking after that ball.
Absolutely, and he's done well here just to cut the lanes manually, the way he's doing it, forcing TekkZ into mistakes. And yeah, you mentioned the loser bracket. I'm a massive fan of it. I believe you can go into tournaments where you're just not at your A game. You're not performing well in your first, I guess, knockout game. And if you lose it, you do fall into a loser bracket, giving you that second opportunity just to pick yourself back up again, because sometimes you do lose a game of FIFA. Unfortunately, luck's against you, or maybe you, again, as I mentioned, you're just performing bad. So having the loser bracket just as a safety blanket to fall back on, I think is fantastic.
Well, neither of these players will want to be using that. They want the quickest route through to that win here in the Champions League Invitational. And again, it's been a little bit of an attritional battle here. And like I mentioned, I think both players, the way that they're playing is kind of just a testament to the respect they have for each other, just valuing that possession and not willing to make any mistakes or take undue risks.
Yeah, and usually when I see TekkZ, the way he plays, even if it's on just FUT Champions or in qualifiers, he's more, I guess, skillful. Like he likes to do a lot of the skill chains or a lot of the moves where I guess it's sort of unorthodox. You wouldn't really see it in a competitive format, but that's what makes TekkZ. I remember in FIFA 18, he was bringing out sombrero flicks or the chained elasticals or the chain reversed elasticals, just things like that. But against NRASECK here, you see that he's just taking his time here. And NRASECK is doing, as you just seen, fantastically just to win the ball back. He's biding his time. He's cutting the lanes manually, forcing TekkZ to give up possession.
He's reading it really well as well. The amount of times that we've seen him read the drag back already in this game. And maybe that's one of those things that TekkZ will see as well. Or maybe he's just trying to bait something out for one of those other skill moves he can pull out of the pocket. Maybe an elastico, maybe something like that. It would be a fine way to win a game if he could chain some of those skill moves together for an opportunity. But for now, he's got to defend as the German DhTekkz is coming forward once more.
Yep, and as you said, something that, in my opinion, separates TekkZ from a lot of the other players in the scene is that he's able to switch up his play style every 10 minutes. So it's like, first 10 minutes you're playing against TekkZ number 1, next 20 minutes TekkZ number 2. It's just the way he plays is so different every single moment of the game. He's able to understand if he's up against it or if he's dominating, he should be continuing in that format. And I feel like that's something that could help him in this game because, again, in the first 30 minutes or so, I believe he hasn't been playing up to the standard that we're usually seeing from TekkZ.
It's a much more methodical TekkZ than what sometimes we have seen when he's flowing, he's got that lead. And maybe that's the point, the fact that it is such a tight game and doesn't want to make those mistakes, doesn't want to be the one to give the ball away and present NRASECK with the opportunity to go forward. Here is a couple of skill moves from him, but just runs into a wall of DhTekkz, who does a great job there to find R9 high up the pitch and relieve a little bit of that pressure. But look at that manual player switch there from TekkZ. Fantastic stuff defensively.
Yeah, it feels like they're all just giving the ball to each other, but what people need to realize is the pressure that's being put on manually to force the player into the error. And it's something that, again, I respect from both of these players. But there hasn't, I don't believe anyway, has there been a shot so far in the 30 minutes or so that have been played? I don't think there has been. So it's a tightly contested affair, and it's going to be interesting to see who gets the breakthrough first.
There's a little bit of space here for the goal scorer in the first leg up to expose it on the right-hand side of TekkZ's defense, and it's going to be played through again. You can see TekkZ just manually moving Cancelo out again, and both of these players are reading each other so well. We've talked about how many times they've played each other this year. It's really showing in just the way that they're reading each other's skill moves.
Exactly, and I feel like NRASECK, maybe he made a mistake there. I don't know if he meant to flick the ball up with João Felix, but again, it's something TekkZ is pressing high, and you see here with NRASECK, he's cutting off all the lanes. He's squeezing him in, just making sure that he has no passing opportunities. And the way TekkZ thrives in attack or in the midfield part of the game is he likes to create triangles. He likes to do quick passing, but he's unable to do that because the passing options are very limited because of NRASECK's manual pressing.
Well, 5 minutes left until half-time. Is there going to be a goal here for NRASECK just to give him a little bit of a cushion ahead of that second 45 minutes in this second leg? Ball into R9 here. Beautiful ball out to Eusebio. Turn back inside, but it's going to be a free kick here. Right on the stroke of half-time here for NRASECK. Is he going to go direct? Will it be something special from the German? Or is he just going to lay this one off and look for a second opportunity? Hullit's going to step over this one. R9's going to play it into him. Hullit, fake shot inside, and what a block that is at the last second from Cancelo.
That is a crazy block. That's as good as a goal, honestly. Because that, with Ruud Gullit in that position, 5-star weak foot, and he's about to pull the trigger, it's almost a goal here. And that free kick is something that you usually see from players where they play it short. They don't usually take the direct free kick. And that's something I'm against, if I'm being honest. I usually take the direct free kick from years ago. I remember with Messi and Suarez and all those type of players. I'm usually a player that takes it direct, but there's nothing against people that take it short. It's probably a smarter option to lay it off short.
Well, here's Eusebio, little pocket of space for NRASECK into stoppage time here at the end of the first half. And almost a scare there for TekkZ, where it was a scare, but at least it didn't hit the back of the net. If you're a TekkZ fan and if you're a NRASECK supporter, you would have been hoping that that one would have hit the back of the net. But there's the story as far as the stats are concerned at halftime. Not too many shots, not too many on target. And that just shows how tight this game is with just 45 minutes left.
Yeah, and NRASECK, he could have scored it. He had the option to pass it there as well, which have given him a better goal-scoring opportunity. But against someone like TekkZ, I feel like he wouldn't have expected that space to be as open. So in his head, he's thinking, all right, that passing lane is locked off already. I'm not thinking about that. I'm using it as a decoy. Well, in fact, the decoy ended up being an option that he could have passed to, which could have led to an opportunity. But yeah, 0-0, probably fair again. It's just a really tightly contested affair.
Yeah, you have to wonder, and we talked about how there's been no mistakes in the game so far. Is it going to be a mistake? Is it going to be a moment of magic from one of these players? Or is it going to be a little lack of concentration? Because in these games, I think it's something we sometimes don't realize if you're watching at home with the intensity of these games, Ryan. I'm sure you can attest to that the tighter the game is and the longer it goes, the more likely you are to slip up in your concentration.
Absolutely, and especially in games like this where, you know, you're playing for prize money, you're playing for placement, and during the season when every win or every advance into a later stage in the tournament gives you more points on the leaderboard, as soon as the game hits at the 80th minute and you're drawing, you don't want to be the person that gives up a mistake to end up conceding a goal. And it's a gut-wrenching feeling when you do. So hopefully the thing that will determine the winner in this game is a piece of magic.
52 minutes on the clock. Already flying through this second half here. Herrera's going to pick the ball up and TekkZ will have the chance to go forward. Cancelo, beautiful switch of the play there from the PSG man to the Man City fullback. And he's just looking for that return pass down the line. But again, just such good defending from both of these players. And this time it was NRASECK stepping up to cut out that pass.
Again, another manual interception from NRASECK. You have to give credit. And it's a testament to both these players that the key moments in this game so far have been defensive performance rather than offensively, which is perhaps what we're used to seeing from both of these players. But again, we're approaching a moment in this game now where maybe something has to change for both of these players or one of these players just to try and open up the game a little bit, give it more entertainment going forward. But it's been fantastic so far defensively.
Oh, I tell you what, that was, again, a player switch, I believe, from TekkZ at the last second to make that interception, as almost looked like a dead cert 1v1 opportunity for NRASECK. But again, defensively, both players have been superb. And like you mentioned, really has been the story of this game so far. We're into the last half an hour here. We don't have a goal, of course, we will go to extra time. And then, if needed, the penalty spot where, of course, TekkZ did take down Gorilla earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, I thought I was about to jinx that chance again. Me speaking about defensive performance and then TekkZ putting out a defender. But luckily, for his sake anyway, the defender managed to intercept it. And we speak about here, the winner advances into the upper bracket final. And that's the place you want to be. It gives you a cushion because the person that comes through the loser bracket final has to beat you twice. And again, that gives you a massive boost of confidence. I've been on the receiving end of both situations where in tournaments I've been in the upper bracket and it gives you a cushion where I've won it on one occasion, I've also lost it on one occasion, and I've also come through the loser bracket to win the tournament as well, or to advance later in the tournament. And it's something where, in my opinion anyway, if you come through the loser bracket, you do feel a bit hot. So that first leg or the first matchup is usually beneficial to the person that comes through the loser bracket.
We'll certainly keep our eyes on that. It's such an interesting format to be added, and it's something that certainly adds a little bit of extra something, as Mike LaBelle might say, in our grand final. And here comes TekkZ again. 20 minutes left in this game for there to be a winner at this point. There's a little run coming in from Johan Cruyff here. Instead, TekkZ is going to opt to go out wide to Neymar. Drag back from him. Pause has been cued by Nicholas Razek as well, so you feel like he maybe wants to make some changes. Johan Cruyff now, twisting and turning. A little bit of space here for Cancelo, the fullback, to get involved as well. Pressure building here for TekkZ. Ball out wide now. Kylian Mbappe, here's Ander Herrera. Tries to feed that ball into R9, who fights for him to get that ball back. Maybe that's what he needs here, that little bit of fortune to go his way, to create one of these chances, but no, Eusebio's in position to make that interception once again.
The way Razek has set up is so congested on the edge of the box. It's really hard to get any sort of space. So if you mistime a pass there, you make the wrong decision, the likelihood of you losing possession in TekkZ's perspective is very high. So again, it's something we've seen why there hasn't been so many shots at goal. And there's 15 minutes there. Razek has cued a pause. And again, I said it before the game, it's almost impossible to call who's going to win.
We're almost into our last 10 minutes here. And it's going to be Razek with possession. The German versus the Englishman. Nothing to separate them up until this point. But there's a little ball into R9. And there's a man on the edge of the box as well. But Johan Cruyff saw it, of all people, and decided to get involved defensively. But Razek's going to keep coming forward again. Here's R9 once more. Little drag back from him. Exchanging passes here with Eusebio. But unfortunately, the linesman's flag will go up from what was a beautiful move. And now those substitutions can be made.
I feel like that's probably the best chance we've had in this leg, and it's not really a clear-cut opportunity. It was eventually an offside situation, but honestly, I don't really know who's edged it so far. It's probably even, but again, there are space there, or there's opportunity for passes inroads into TekkZ's defensive positioning, because he's manually bringing out defenders, and there's space opening up that maybe Razek isn't used to. We've mentioned that they played each other across 4 matches, so 8 legs of FIFA, and when you play against TekkZ, you don't really, I guess, anticipate there being that much space on the edge of the box. So when there is, you're caught off guard, and it works against you sometimes.
Well, here's Sadio Mane, and there's a ball inside as well. Ander Herrera breaking from midfield. Can he find the pass, though, TekkZ? Across the Cruyff! And he will find the pass! And inside the last 10 minutes, it is going to be FNATIC TEKKZ who manages to take the lead.
Fantastic composure there with Herrera. And honestly, I thought he was going to end up taking the shot there. And fortunately, you could say fortunately anyway, that the pass made it through there. And it's 1-0 to TekkZ. You see Razek's emotion. Probably backs himself again to create probably one chance to bring himself back into this game. But yeah, it's TekkZ's to lose.
Well, this is the journey for Nicholas Razek to this position where he's in at the moment. A 3-0 win over Neo Stokes. And then, of course, taking down the current world champion in what was a little bit of a destruction job, to be honest with you. 6-0 in his second match. But he's going to have to step up here in these last few minutes, Ryan, if he wants to get back into this. And the question is, can he do it?
Oh, God, he's had opportunities to take a shot and he hasn't taken the shot. But again, Razek thrives with having his back against the wall. He's usually the underdog anyway, or not a lot of people perhaps respect him going forward. And I think offensively, he is fantastic, especially when he needs to get a goal, which is why he's been so successful across the years, is that he's able to create a chance from nothing. But against TekkZ, it's an incredibly difficult opposition to score against in these situations.
Well, look at the space here for Johan Cruyff, and he's managed to get inside the 18-yard box, hold off his man, a scoop turn, and there's a free as you could possibly get. Kylian Mbappe at the back post, and surely TekkZ will be moving on in the eChampions League.
Fantastic work here. I don't want to call it because I've jinxed a few times, but surely that is game over. 2-0 here to TekkZ. And he's been fantastic in the area in the later stages of the game, specifically in the last 10 minutes, biding his time, waiting for the run at the back post, and 2-0, which should send NRASECK into the loser bracket final against the likes of Moab or Gorilla, whoever wins that matchup.
And what a performance it has been in this second leg. We always talk about how TekkZ comes to life in the second leg. Well, it's going to be up to Nicholas NRASECK to come to life, but unfortunately for him, that is going to be the clock against him. In this particular situation, he's given everything against TekkZ, but for once, TekkZ will actually come out on top. The record hasn't been in the favour of the Englishman, but this at least will start to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, lowers the deficit now. 3 wins for NRASECK still, but 2 wins for TekkZ across this year. And this is a fantastic win for TekkZ. It pushes him into the upper bracket final. He's in control now to win the eChampions League